I'm the second generation owner of our tree nursery just outside Strathmore. My dad, who is now 82 years old, is still at the farm, and probably I will still be when I'm 82 years old. As I said, we started on the prairie. My dad bought a chunk of land, just a piece of grassland, and had the dream of transferring it into a tree shrub perennial oasis. We had hired staff, so as a kid, I worked alongside the crews, doing whatever task was assigned. My sister and I, though, complained that we always had to do the manual labor, and that my brothers got to drive tractors and do what we thought were more exciting jobs. After completing my studies and doing a year of work experience in Holland, I landed back at our family farm to work full-time. At this time, my brother, who had also completed university, was working at the nursery with my dad and was on course to lead the business. A few years after we had both worked full-time, my brother moved into my dad's office, the boss's chair, and we worked together, but he was the leader. Things started to get a little challenging as my brother wanted to have more control without my dad's interference. It was really a situation of different personalities. My brother was much more aggressive, and Dad was more cautious. If Eric had an idea, he wanted to run with it, but was being held back by my dad's more tentative approach, and I was caught in the middle of the two. So our farm was divided. Eric purchased the turf production division, and I stayed with my dad in the nursery production. And that decision really was transformative for our business. It led to both businesses being more successful. Both are thriving and stronger today than probably they would have been if the company had not been divided. As a woman in the nursery industry, I definitely find myself the only girl in the room a lot. I have not met any other women who own a business like mine, a nursery. When I introduce myself as the owner, it is usually assumed that I run a retail garden center or grow greenhouse annuals or basically grow and sell flowers. For the horticultural industry, this is really the more traditional role of women. The nursery industry is very different than the garden center industry. It is much more like running a traditional farm. We produce on about 1,000 acres of land. Our customers are mostly men in the landscaping and construction industry. They have contracts to complete and are looking for my business to provide the products they require. As a woman in leadership, I don't see any barriers for women to take on these non-traditional roles. So moving women through the ranks of our company has been natural, and I hope through my example, it will break down barriers in other nurseries as well. Our farm is big. We have over 70 employees. Growing plants is really the easiest thing I do. I'm a firm believer in a systems approach. Because of this, I can handle unplanned things that inevitably happen every day. I find that if you are organized and have a plan in place, you can usually tweak things quite easily and make the impossible happen. We have a very active nursery producers group in Alberta, and when I started attending these meetings, I was the only woman in the group. I was soon asked to be the group secretary. I declined. I've never been the group secretary of any group. I have gone on to be president of the Provincial Association as well as president of the Western Canadian Nursery Association, and I am currently president of the National Nursery Growers Association. This involvement has given me the opportunity to be a part of the conversation as our industry grows and changes. For women that are leaders in their agriculture businesses, I would highly recommend getting involved in industry and community associations and take up the leadership roles. You will be giving your insight as a leader and a woman, but most of all, you'll be growing yourself as a person. I've had to overcome traditional perceptions and a few negative situations, but my experience of being a woman in agriculture has overall been very positive. I think my life experiences have given me the confidence and the capability to not be afraid to take on new challenges. When something seems difficult, your natural reaction might be to stand back, But instead, if we step forward, the reward for ourselves and for those around us will be great. Thank you.